fishing. People, when you're in the mood, let's go fishing. Well, it's just me and you. Head on down to the fishing hole. Grab your hat, get your pole. Let's go fishing when you're in the mood.
Canadian sport fishing has been brought to you in part by Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. YAMAHA, Conquer Outdoors. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922. BaitCloud, bring the fish to you. Easy Docker, docking made easy.
All right, I got one, Italo.
Okay, will you calm down? I can't believe how excited you are. Nice smallmouth.
Good start, yeah.
That was almost right up on shore, right?
Yeah, really tight to shore.
Amazing how shallow they're feeding. Just like on TV.
Just like
Look
that.
at pretty smallmouth. You know, I always like it when my guests get the first fish.
Thanks, Italo. I knew you gave me that one. I appreciate it. See you later, buddy. Back in you go.
Good one.
Perfect.
You know, one of my favorite times of the year is late summer. We're about a week away from fall actually arriving, and the temperatures are starting to get cool. The leaves haven't started to change color yet, but the water temperatures have started to fall in most of our southern Ontario lakes. And that means that fish are changing their pattern. And this is one of my favorite times of the year to come up to Mashkinonje Lodge on the west arm of Lake Nipissing. Mashkinonje Lodge is in a perfect location because it's situated right next to a provincial park. So you can see behind me, there's lots of greenery and lush trees, and you don't have a lot of people. So the people come up, especially in the fall, because as the water temperatures start to drop, the fish start to move in closer onto the shorelines. Fish like smallmouth bass, walleye, pike, and of course, muskie. Actually, this guy grabbed that spinner nicely. Look at you, like a pro.
There we go. Wow.
You know what? I'm glad you had the net. You know, when I was younger, I used to almost use spinners exclusively. And I'm going back like the 70s. I don't think you were born yet, but
I wasn't. Not till 82.
So, but a lot of people now don't use them anymore.
No,
not the smaller inline ones.
It surprises me, you know, these old school baits still catch great smallies.
So this could spoil people, you know, if they come up here and get into fish like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing I noticed, you got to know where you're driving. That's why I let you pilot. There he goes. Now, I asked Reagan if 4 was too big. So this is a Vibrex spinner. I mean, there's all kinds of spinners on the market. A Vibrex is an interesting one because it has this bell on it, and it's got a gear. They claim the water goes through the bell, and the bell goes back and forth, and that gear spins around.
That's right.
You think that that actually works? I don't know.
That's what they claim.
But I know that fish hit it.
Seems to.
And this is a number 4, silver. I mean, I picked the silver because that's the only color I had in the,
you know what?
box.
It gets seen.
And I've got 15 pound. You have 30?
Yeah, I have 30 pound, yeah.
Okay, so hopefully I won't get a muskie on this rod. You know, when I was a young guy, I'm gonna say 17 to 20 years of age, it was a while ago, and I had a small boat that I could use, a 14-foot aluminum with a 9.9 motor, no electric, no electronics. I used to do a lot of fishing for smallmouth bass, casting around shoreline weed beds, sometimes from shore, sometimes from a boat. And my go-to lure in my younger years was always spinners, and I still have a lot of the spinners in my original spinner box. Some of them have hackles on them, like this style here. Some of them have a heavier weight in the body, like this one here. This is called a metric spinner. It's made by Lure Jensen. So these are actual weights, and they come in different sizes with 1 or 2 weights, so they have a faster sink rate. And then there's the Vibrex spinner. I found out this week that a number 4 blade, which Reagan suggested, worked much better than using a number 3 blade. So a number 3 blade, because it's much smaller, will actually drop down quicker. And because we were getting most of our fish in anywhere from 1 to about 4 feet of water, the 4 was perfect. And I'll tell you what, when a fish hits a single inline spinner with a treble hook, you usually get a good hookup. I'm gonna try putting on a show like you did. This guy's a little bit bigger.
A little bigger.
Tail walking across the surface. Man, I love getting them on spinners. I'm glad you told me they were hitting the Vibrex. The one nice thing about spinners especially when the water's clear, you can see the spinner coming through the water because we're not fishing our lures deep. We're kind of swimming them, whether it's the paddle tails, spinners, or the rattling lipless crankbaits. It's really visible. And what I like is the treble. You know, when they go to grab it, usually you get a good hookup. I don't like it when they swallow it. We've only had one fish that really grabbed it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we either get a pike or a muskie in a good size that actually goes for one. You know, when you're fishing anywhere in Lake Nipissing, unless you're out in the middle of the lake, and even then, you have to be so careful because there's so much structure and rocky outcrops. Some of the rocks you can see, they look like they're bald and they're rounded and they are anywhere from a foot out of the water or even up to 4 or 5 feet. Others are just below the surface. Now, those areas are great to fish. Great structure for fish to be drawn to, but the problem is if you're not familiar with the water, you must stay along the channel markers. I like the way you're working it like those guys you're trying to keep in the water so it doesn't jump and throw the hook.
Keep the tension on the line. All right, I'm gonna bring him in.
Okay, so I actually oversized the hook, believe it or not. This lure had 2 small hooks this size. When you're retrieving it, it doesn't swim like this. It literally almost swims like this, right? So that's usually where they hit, they grab that.
Yes.
So I put a little bit bigger one, because on that small size, the hook is like this big. And to me, like, that's too tiny.
A little bit bigger.
Good job, good job. Closed captioning is brought to you by K100. We make water burn. Yes, on the spinner.
Oh, nice one.
Good size fish, eh? You know, Reagan's been getting more of the fish, and that's okay, but I haven't had as many hits, but they seem to be pretty good size. I think he's gonna jump some more. Oh, he's a good size, yeah.
Good one, nice one, Italo.
Yeah, he's gotta be 17, 18 inches.
There he goes, all right.
You know, maybe it was a good idea that you grabbed it off the dock. It would have been a lot messier.
You can never be too sure.
Okay, so I'm trying to see here how we're gonna drift. I pointed the boat out, and let me get the rod down. Mashkinonje kiss there. It's a love affair, it's a love affair. Now, without falling in here, because we're blowing onto the fish, this guy should take off really quick. Come on, there he goes. Man, they're sleepers. When I'm fishing soft plastics or any delicate lures, I like to use a rod that's a little bit lighter. This is a Concept TI rod and reel outfit. It's extremely light, very sensitive, but it has a soft action so that when a fish picks up a soft plastic, like this is a Lunker City, it's a swim-in ribster. You can see that it's really limp. Sometimes limp is really good when it comes to soft plastic. That tail goes back and forth. So when a fish grabs this, I want the tip to be soft enough so that the fish actually closes its mouth on the lure and then swims away. And then, of course, when I feel the fish on, I set the hook gently because I don't want to rip it out of its mouth like a hard bait. But the one thing that I do, whether I'm fishing the soft plastics or I'm casting a spinner or a crankbait, I use a braided line. Now, the braided line that's on this reel is made by Suffolk's. It's called the 832, and this one is the ghost color. It's white in color. And what I do, because it's white in color, at the end, I use a fluorocarbon leader. And the leader that I've got on here is 15-pound test. Nice tail walker.
Right.
Look at that. That's cute.
He's
Did you
dancing.
see the tail walk?
He's dancing for us.
Yeah, he's not hook deep. Very nice fish. Okay, this guy's going to become a flying fish. I'm not going to lean over. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, there he goes. He's gone. You know, one of the fish that you usually get incidentally when you're casting in the shallow water for a smallmouth bass here on the west arm of Lake Nipissing, fishing out of Mashkinonje Lodge, is northern pike. So a lot of times the pike will be in the same locations that the smallmouth move into. It probably has to do with what they have to eat. Now, I'm suspicious that because the smallmouth and pike go in such shallow water and not necessarily close to weeds, they're probably looking for crayfish and some of the other species of bait fish that are near the bottom. I'm talking about like log perch and different types of darters. I'm not talking about the shiners that are out in the main lake, because they seem to hit almost everything. You know, soft baits like jigs with plastic tails on them, or spinners, or even crankbaits.
Well, you missed him, Italo, and we found out what it was.
It's a Mashkinonje eater.
Yeah,
he's going to be released.
Nice eating size pike. If we were to eat one today, which but we're having steaks tonight, so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good, he didn't thrash.
Bubble gum mustache.
He didn't thrash. Small pike, but you know what? If you're going to eat pike, this is a good size. Let the big ones go. And we're just going to slip them into the water. So I have a question for you. Do you think fishing electronics is fair for fishing? Me, yes. Because just because you mark fish or you mark a fishing spot doesn't mean you're going to catch them. A little bit more to it. You have to be there at the right time. Timing is everything. You have to use the right lure. You have to make the right presentation with that lure. And if everything comes together, you get fish. Here in the west arm of Lake Nipissing, when you're fishing out of Mashkinonje Lodge, the electronics are probably more valuable for not hitting obstructions. We have the Raymarine Axiom 12-inch on the side. We don't have it on the console because that could obstruct your vision. So 12 inches is a pretty big screen. So that's where we have the actual hydrographic chart. And we can see that we're running in the boat channel and where we're getting out of the channel to slow down. Once we get out of the channel and we deploy the motor guide electric, that's when we use the element that's at the front. You know, I have some people that see me fishing a lot with spinning outfits on the shows, and I have some comments sent to Ask Italo or on our YouTube channel. Don't you ever use a bait caster? As a matter of fact, I use a bait caster a lot when I need it. So when do I use a bait caster? Especially when I'm target casting to objects. You know, a lot of times if I'm out fishing open water and I'm using a twitch bait and stuff, I use a spinning outfit because the baits are light and I want to get maximum distance with my cast. Now, a lot of times when I'm fishing crankbaits, I'll use a snap. And one thing that I really appreciate, VMC has come up with these snaps. They're really good snaps. They're very compact, very easy to open, and extremely strong. Okay, keep casting. Keep casting. The fish are probably moved in because that wind was stronger today from an opposite direction. Man, we've gotten a lot of bass. Tough conditions and still lots of bass.
Yeah, you know what? It started out pretty promising, slowed down. Now it's picking up again.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I really rely on that I don't know how I fished without when I was younger and had a small boat and no electric trolling motor is the electric trolling motor. I'm very fortunate to work with Motor Guide. And it's funny because on the G3 that I'm running this year, we had a white saltwater Motor Guide put on because it kind of looks nice onto a black and brown G3 instead of having a black Motor Guide. So the Motor Guide that I use is remote control. I don't have a pedal. So if I was tournament fishing and I was flipping docks, you know, and casting to boats, I would probably have a cable electric where the response is instant when you hit the cable to maneuver the boat in and out. But I find with the remote, number one, it can be anywhere in the boat, even at the back of the boat, and still work the remote. And the lag time isn't that bad. It's a whopper.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Oh, yeah.
Ready?
Oh, yeah.
Here he goes.
Good one.
Oh, wow, there she is.
That is a nice smallmouth.
Beautiful smallmouth. Beautiful.
It's got to be 18 inches. I'm going to say it's longer than that.
20 inches of tallow.
Yes!
You got it.
Oh, boy, you know what? And I may have to lay him down on the vigorous mat. He's so wide. He's so deep. He's so beautiful. Come on. So nice and easy. That is awesome. Wow, he grabbed a Regan?
Oh, that's a nice one, Italo.
I can see that bubble gum sticking out of his mouth.
Yeah. Wow. We knew the spot looked
Nice
good. We knew it
fish.
was going to hold a fish, and it did.
Yeah, we said it looks like a smallie feeding area. All the rocks and everything and weeds here for them to feed on.
It's a complex here, that's for sure.
I don't think he's quite ready yet. I'm using a really light action rod. It's one of those Concept TIs, which is perfect for finesse fishing. That's why the rod's bent over so much. Okay, are you almost ready?
I'm ready. Here we go. Here he goes.
I can't believe the quality of smallmouth at Mashkinonje Lodge.
It's incredible. Never disappoints us.
Maybe you need to change it to smallmouth. No, keep it to
that would give it away.
Mashkinonje. Look at gorgeous fish. That's that Fishing Complete wacky rig. And time to revive him. Get those stripes. Oh, no way I could hold him. Yay, Reagan. Look at that. It's not big.
That was a
boat hut.
That was pretty cool, Italo. Yeah, just pitched her right under.
To me, they look like whiskers going through the water. That's like those Bassmaster guys, right? So you know what I mean by whiskers?
Yeah.
I'm gonna release this guy. You know, it's like this. Like,
Yeah, like a mustache.
Yeah. Does this look like any food a bass would eat? Look at this. Look at it. It's alive. It's alive. Eat me. They hit it, though. They love it. You know, Reagan is a great guide. He guides like a lot of days, something like 70 or 80 days for muskies. So he's the only lodge owner that I know that actually guides, and seriously guides, to try to get, you know, like record fish for people. But he also takes them out for walleye, bass, and pike, and, you know, both smallmouth and largemouth bass. But I don't think a lot of people use the system called a wacky worm, which I was using in this week's show. You know, I offered Reagan to use any of the tools that I had, the O-rings, and to actually set up a wacky worm to fish on the bottom. I was using one with a weighted head. And he just used the lures that he's had fish on in confidence, and I don't blame him. But you know, I've developed such confidence when the water gets colder of using a wacky worm rig, where you cast out the wacky worm, no matter what color or what length, and fishing it and just shaking it and bringing it back. If you use a weighted head, you can actually work it back pretty quick. And a lot of times, fish that don't want to chase a lure that's moving fast will go up to that wacky worm and they'll just inhale it. So is there more than one there, or is that the same fish?
I think that was the same fish that that hit you, then hit me.
He's still got tons of energy, but let's see here. Slow down, slow down. Let's not do like the pike did. Okay, good. Little bigger.
Yeah, they're getting bigger.
3.5 pounds.
The bite's back on. We're back on them.
Yep.
That's good.
Nice.
Slow down for a while now. Now we're 4 quick ones.
Hi, I'm Goldie Thompson, owner of Mashkinonje Lodge, along with my husband, Reagan Thompson. This is our 6th season in business, and we're excited to show you around the place. Hi guys, we're in cottage number 5. It's one of our deluxe cottages. It's one of our 2 bedrooms, 4 beds. It comes fully stocked with everything that you will need for your week stay here, from dishcloths to dish soap to linens on the beds. It also has TV and satellite, and one of our new features this year was a portable air conditioner, which people just absolutely loved, especially in July and August when it's really, really hot. Here we are, we're down at the boardwalk. As you can see, there's ample seating for everyone to sit, whether it's for your morning coffee or your afternoon beverage. You will certainly enjoy the view as well. And here is our fish cleaning area. As you can see, there's stainless steel countertops, cutting boards, fillet knives. We also have ice and worms on site for your convenience.
What's he doing here? Actually in a safe spot. We're not going to get blown onto any islands. He's hooked nicely. I see that worm. Let's see if I can just lift him up. Can he do it? Oh, no!
Bite off.
I love using crankbaits, whether it's walleye fishing or pike or bass fishing, because I find that some of the larger fish want to eat bigger food. So instead of using a plastic grub on a 1/4 or 1/8 ounce jig head, I'll go to a crankbait that has a lot of wobble. And in the fall, when the water starts to get cold, and also in the early summer when the water's cold, I find that a crankbait that has rattles in it works really well. Oh, nice jump.
Nice fish.
Yep. Beauty.
Yeah, you let me know where you want them.
This is such a change from catching bass.
Oh, isn't it great?
I like how you
Just out of the
stay calm, eh?
Oh, that's a nice fish.
It's a beautiful fish. He's probably going to come out. He's got tons of energy.
Okay, you ready? Bring him over to me.
I'm going to try. You know what? I'm going to work my way.
He's barely hooked, Italo. He's barely hooked.
That makes for a good release. Problem is he's 90 degrees, right?
Okay, I know. Ready?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, there we go. Nice job. All right, good one, Italo.
Double high five.
There we go. Double high five for that one.
Come on.
Great job. Oh,
Gorgeous fish.
beautiful fish. Good job, Italo.
Now, you know, we're professionals, so this is where we can chat about things.
That's right.
Because he's chilling. This is one of the best things, what we did there, and Reagan's probably the best guy to tell you this. When you're musky fishing, If you're a serious musky fisherman and you respect the fish, you use the right gear. He's got all the right gear. You try to get the fish in quick. I think that was probably like 40 seconds.
That was fast.
Keep him in the water, right? So
That's
look
right.
at his fins. There's no hemorrhaging that I can see. He's got beautiful colors. As a matter of fact, he's doing great. We're keeping him in the water. In just a moment, we're gonna take the hook out of it, and we're gonna try to keep it in the water. The net that Reagan's using, you can see is large. It's got a big bag at the bottom, but it's not deep. You can see the flat part of the bag. So that's important so that the fish doesn't go down in a funnel and starts twisting in it. Using the right net is almost as good as using a cradle, only a little bit easier to maneuver. If we were trying to cradle this fish, we would have taken a lot more time. So
right.
it could have messed things up.
Get the fish in
So you did
quickly,
great.
big net, off, quick picture, then back in the water. Safety's #1 for these fish.
Now, I got to tell you, you got an awesome rig for musky fishing. I know you do a lot of guiding.
We do.
Is this a 21-foot boat or bigger?
Yeah, it's a 21.5 foot with a 350 on it.
You only have 350? You
Only
couldn't get a
350.
400 or 450?
Well, we didn't want to go too big.
Can you put twins? Two twin 350s?
We'll think about that for next season.
So how many days a year would you be out here?
Probably out here about 70, 80 days a year, Italo. For muskie, maybe 40 days a year. And this is September. This is the greatest time to be out here for muskie. So we're just loving life.
I like your attitude when we were coming out. You said, is it too rough? It's 2-3 foot waves? I said, I think it's okay. You just gunned it. What a healthy specimen.
Absolutely.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah, beautiful Lake Nipissing fish.
Okay, are you going to use the bore grip to
Yeah,
just
I'm
hold
going to
it?
just see.
You just take your time, okay? We're not in a rush.
Oh, he is out.
Good. So the lure's in the net.
You want to grab him, Italo?
I can. They've actually got a beautiful mouth. So what I've got is my hand underneath the gill plate, not in the gills, and they've got a perfect place where you can hold them.
Italo. Perfect hold.
Isn't that a
supporting the
gorgeous
fish with your
specimen?
backhand.
Beautiful fish.
Beautiful
You know
fish.
what? Less than 20 seconds out of the water. We got to get him back in the water. He's just a beautiful fish.
Nice thick fish, Italo.
Healthy
Great
or
job.
what, eh? What's the name of the lodge again?
Mashkinonje Lodge.
What a coincidence.
This
is a muskie. Okay.
Ojibwe for Mashkinonje.
He's going to go back in the water. Okay, let's get the net in. I'm going to face him the other way because I want to make sure he's a happy fish.
He's right side up, Italo. I think he's ready to go. Let's just see. There
Bye-bye.
he goes. There he goes.
See ya. I hope you get something good to eat that's not as hard as what you hit. Canadian Sport Fishing has been brought to you in part by Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. YAMAHA, Conquer Outdoors. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922. BaitCloud, bring the fish to you. Easy Docker, docking made easy. So you know what? I thought I had a tap of a rock.
Yep.
Guess what? Good thing I didn't cast to the same spot. He might have bit me off.
That was Mr. Pike.
Who wants to handle those anyway? I'm not.
I don't have a choice. You want to grab that for me? Sure.
You know what? We don't even have the net.
I won't even net him.
No.
I'll just bring him right up.
Yeah.
I got him.
Just careful he doesn't cut your line. You don't want to lose that.
I've got 30-pound fluorocarbon leader.